Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online Series 9 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. This is going to be the final week of Series 9/Series 7. We've been playing this rule set for, I think, almost 6 months now, which is absolutely wild. So, just finishing up our time with this format. I know that everyone has their, minds on Series 10, and I'm really, really excited to dive into the format. And so, yeah, when the next month comes in just a few days, we will start Series 10 content. And I know a lot of you have been very hungry for it. Personally, I'm also just excited for it because it's such a different format from anything we've played. But until then, still wanted to feature just some cool, fun, Pokemon and strategies in Series 9. And yeah, I just really appreciate everyone for coming out and continuing to watch these videos. So thanks so much, as always, for your support. For today's episode, in the last one, we used Nagandel, a team featuring Nagandel, Gardevoir, Indeedee. So we'll be playing a couple more matches with it today. Details for the team are in the description below. And as you may remember from yesterday's episode, this team was able to get top 16 in the European Players Cup 4 online qualifiers, which is super awesome. So yeah, let's get into today's episode. As always, if you enjoyed, please show support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And very cool team from our opponent. They've got Dragonite and Suicune. Okay. Love seeing both of those. I think Nagandel has a ton of potential here, but it primarily has to watch out for Landorus. I've had so many people lead Landorus-T into me while using this team. So I just, in Game 3 yesterday, for example, and Game 3 was where I got, punished pretty heavily. So I almost want to go with Indeedee plus Zapdos, just because that's our best answer into Landorus plus Regieleki. Yeah, I'm honestly kind of down. I haven't tried this combo yet, but I think it could be pretty strong. And Nagandel is actually very good as a non-Dynamax option in this game as well. And I'll bring Whimsicott in the back. I think I still want Whimsicott because of a potential late game Tailwind. But yeah, this should be a pretty interesting one. Question of the day, by the way, I want to know when you started following VGC. For me, I guess I started playing in the first year, back in 2008. And I only really knew about it because at that time I was a competitive trading card game player, and they announced this thing. It was called the Video Game Showdown in 08, and it was basically two events, one in New York, one in Florida, where the top 8 players would basically make it to Worlds. So I read about it and I was like, oh, okay, that's super interesting. And so I played in the juniors division way back in the day, got top 4 at that tournament. And then that's really where it all started. So yeah, curious on when you all started playing or following VGC. Let me know in the comment section below. So it's going to be Regieleki plus Suicune. And I totally realized, it's funny because in yesterday's episode, I was like, oh yeah, don't set up the Psychic Terrain if you want to use Eject Button Whimsicott later on, but that's fine. We don't necessarily need to eject anything out right now anyway. I mean, Suicune's not really that scary. I'm kind of down to just go for an Expanding Force, Dynamax, and Airstream. Let's just KO Regieleki turn 1. I guess they could low-key Dynamax Regieleki, but yeah, they're not going to go for that. I'm wondering now, honestly, if it screens Regieleki. I see this combo, and I'm kind of thinking that might be the case. Best case would be them Electro-Webbing and giving us a Defiant boost. If that were the case, it feels like the game would just accelerate so quickly in our favor. I don't know if Whimsicott was the right Pokemon in the 4th spot. No! Oh, that would have been so good if it hit. I can't believe they went for Electroweb onto a Defiant user. I honestly feel like they probably just forgot about Defiant or are just really underestimating Zapdos. That is really frustrating. Because that would have given us, the Zapdos would just one-shot everything at that point in the game. Okay, it's really good damage from Expanding Force. In the end, the Airstream wasn't a great play because they had these Tailwind anyway. Yeah, very sad about that, but it is what it is. The other thing, by the way, is that we can still trick Eject Button onto Landorus because it's not grounded, so it's not affected by the Psychic Terrain. And there's the Landorus. They're going to activate my Defiant, which I'm totally okay with. We're actually in really good shape right now. Because the thing is, I can just go follow me, redirect any attack away from Landorus, and then I just bring in Whimsicott and click Tailwind. So, yeah. This is exactly why I wanted to play towards Zapdos in this game. So we're just going to follow me here. We're at +1. We're going to go for Airstream here onto Landorus. I don't really care about Suicune. With the Assault Vest on Zapdos, we take no damage practically from the Suicune. So Yeah, now, you know what? Well, I was going to say this would be an interesting play, but never mind. Well, they are maxing. I was going to say, if you fly with Landorus here, that is very compelling. Oh, I like that a lot. That's a great U-turn. Okay. It's going to be a very interesting endgame here. You don't see U-turn like that frequently, so that's a really nice option for my opponent to have right now. And they just Ice Beam. Okay, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, this means if we KO the Dragonite here and then you just bring the Landorus back out, you just give me another Defiant boost. And then I can just Tailwind. I'm already up, +2 speed, so we're basically back to neutral anyway. And yeah, that just one-shots Dragonite. Okay. If you have U-turn on Landorus, I think it's very unlikely you have Protect. It's most likely like you're the Assault Vest set. We didn't see a Life Orb there either, so yeah, this works out perfectly. This is just a Zapdos sweep. So we can bring out Whimsicott, we can match their Tailwind, and then we can just go for max Airstream onto their Landorus. Even if Landorus has Max Guard, it's still fine, but I think it's pretty unlikely they do. Actually, I don't even know if we need a Tailwind, right? Because Galarian Zapdos should outspeed the Landorus because we're max speed. So I can actually just guarantee the KO onto Landorus with Helping Hand. Like, is there any reason to click Tailwind here? I guess if they're Focus Sash Landorus, but they have Urshifu on their team. Just double check the field state. +2 speed, +2 attack, Tailwind. This is why Zapdos is just such a nice anti-meta Pokemon right now, right? Like, how many teams have Landorus or Incineroar? Yeah, we're max speed. Okay. I am down to go for a Helping Hand here in Airstream. That should definitely ensure the KO onto Landorus. And we have pretty, like, Suicune's not that scary. You know, they could Dynamax Suicune here instead. I think they're going for that. That's actually a really smart play. That's actually really interesting. Yeah, nice Dynamax. Okay, okay. I think that is absolutely the correct option. And the thing is, because we have the AV, though, I don't think Suicune's one-shotting us anyway. So I think it's fine. But now I'm curious, like, if you're Scarf Landorus... Oh, I didn't consider that option. Okay, they're not. Scarf Lando going for Fly there could have been very scary. Either way, we pick up 3 KOs in 3 turns effectively with the Zapdos. Suicune will probably Hailstorm, I would think, into Galarian Zapdos, which isn't that much of an issue. Let's see. Yep. Okay, good. That does no damage. This Zapdos is so good. Yeah. Doesn't play out any better than this. And that's the thing with Zapdos. It's like so many, like this team that we're using still invites our opponents to bring Landorus-T, right? Because Landorus-T is really good into Nagandel. If you don't bring Landorus-T, then suddenly your Nagandel answers are, pretty sparse. And so we get to take advantage of that. Let's see. There's still... How many turns of Tailwind on their end? There's only 1, so we don't need a Tailwind Whimsicott because at this point, all of our Pokemon should outspeed my opponent. Yeah, I think it's fine to just go for a Helping Hand here onto the Zapdos. And then go for a Brave Bird. I would think that KO Suicune, +2 Helping Hand. But even if Suicune hangs on, yeah, they just end up forfeiting. The main thing here is Dragonite didn't really offer them anything, and we just got the ball rolling very quickly with Galarian Zapdos. So, yeah. I think like that was the main thing I had taken away from my loss in Game 3 yesterday, as well as one of the practice games I had, where a lot of people were leading Landorus-Regieleki on me, and I was like, okay, I'm just like... The Zapdos itself, like Regieleki plus Landorus works as a lead into Zapdos specifically, even though you activate Defiant, because you can just go Electro Web and Max Airstream into it. And yes, Zapdos has Assault Vest, but it can't take a Max Airstream from Landorus really well. So that's where Indeedee comes in handy, where it's like, okay, with the Psychic Seed, you're not one-shotting the Indeedee with Regieleki, and then so you'd have to either double your attention onto the Indeedee as it goes for Follow Me, and then Zapdos gets a big Airstream off, and then I can bring in Whimsicott and click Tailwind. So... That's why I wanted Whimsicott in the back of this one, just to ensure that I could outspeed my opponent after the early game. And it played out pretty well for us. So, yeah, definitely a fun first game here to kick things off, and we can actually check our opponent's team. So, Slash Urshifu with Poison Jab, no Protect, which is interesting. It was AV Landorus, hence the U-turn. Yep, makes sense. Aguav, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam Scald. Suicune's a cool Pokemon. This was actually max speed, max special attack, but unfortunately, it's just very underwhelming in terms of damage output. Miracle Seed, RIllaboom, Choice Specs Regieleki. Oh, interesting. Okay. So the Electro would have actually done like a sizable amount of damage, but I don't know. Like it's still fine, right? It would have just activated Defiant. We get a one-shot on Regieleki, and then Expanding Force targets the Suicune, and then, yeah, I would still just make the same play, which is just follow me, sacrifice Indeedee, and get Whimsicott out. So, oh, I didn't get to check the rest of the team. Oops. But that's, like, the perfect way to basically set up, right? So, yeah. Yeah, this is giving me actually really more confidence in, like, Indeedee Zapdos lead with Whimsicott in the back. It's not something I'd really considered at all when playing with this team yesterday, but I think it's actually really viable. So, let's look for our next game. All right, next match here, and ooh, Clefairy Dragapult Blastoise, very reminiscent of game 1 yesterday. What was my approach in that game? I led Whim Zapdos. Nagandel was amazing in the late game. And I think it's Indeedee here. I need to bring Indeedee more, that's my main lesson. Gardevoir is not that great here, Marowak is not that valuable either, so I'm okay with these 4. So, depending on the lead, like the cool thing about bringing Zapdos and Nagandel is that like they're both strong max options and they're both pretty strong as non-max options as well. So I really like, you know, bringing both and then just playing flexible and like deciding who to max based off how the early game looks. So the hope here is we potentially can eject Blastoise or Dragapult out immediately. It is just so fascinating to me to see this Dragapult, Clef, Blastoise like RIllaboom core though, because this is the second time we're running into it, and there's also a Volcarona on my opponent's team, which you're going to be seeing a lot of in Series 10. It's going to be one of the most popular Pokemon, at least in the earlier days. So, yeah. But, let's see. Like, I think here the goal is to, ideally, I eject out their Dynamax Mon, but even if not, get them to Dynamax first and then try to sweep after. That being said, we're not like a very defensive team. It's going to be Volcarona plus Blastoise. Oh boy. Okay. If you're leading Volc Blastoise, this indicates to me they're going to go for a Rage Powder plus Shell Smash, I think. To which I could Switcheroo. So I think I like Switcheroo, and I like maxing. Is it Sash Volc? I really think it will be. The thing is, if we actually expect it to be Sash Volcarona, and we expect them to Rage Powder Shell Smash turn 1, my play is to just double up on Volcarona. I like the idea of just switcherooing onto Blastoise, I think. Switcheroo, Max, Airstream, Volc. I don't know if that's the play, though. The good thing is that we have Indeedee, so if Whimsicott goes down, and I get the eject button on Blastoise, that's great. If it's not Focus Sash Volcarona, my opponent is in a lot of trouble, but I think it's going to be Sash here. It just makes too much sense. Oh, it could be Koba as well. It's going to be one of Sash or Koba, right? Yeah, there's Rage Powder. Okay. So we get Switcheroo off. Yep, it was White Herb. So are you sashed? Yeah. Okay. At least we get the eject button on, but the problem... I really wish now we had, like, Dazzling Gleam. I guess the other question is, does Blastoise outspeed us after a Shell Smash? I do have Max Quake as well, right? So I could get a special defense boost. So, like, the play I like making here is Tailwind, Max Quake into Blastoise. Volk's probably going to redirect it, but there's a chance Volk, like, protects. And I like getting a special defense. Oh, that's interesting. They don't max it. Okay, I think that's smart, because they know that, oh, it's just going to be Water Spout. Which actually I'm fine with if that's the case. Like, it's not going to do that much with AV and the special defense boost. But maybe I should have, like, I don't know. Would I rather have had the max at this point? I'm not sure. Either way, we get Tailwind up, so that's good. Blastoise is just going to go down to a max Airstream. Even Helping Hand Knuckle it. Dragapult's probably their best Baxmon at this point, but we can steal an item away from that. Okay, they just go for Ice Beam. Okay, that's fine, I think. Because now I get the free switch into Nagandel. I could go into Indeedee as well. I like Nagandel more, though. Like, we have Life Orb Draco Meteor into a potential Dragapult, which is the scariest offense for my opponent. Oh, unless they bring in Clef. Ah! Yeah. The reason why this is a problem is because I gave the Zapdos a speed boost, but I didn't give Nagandel a speed boost. Right? Because I Airstreamed. Wait, did I Airstream? I did Airstream Volk. So the thing is, now Nagandel, like, we're going to outspeed with Zapdos, which isn't good. So I'm actually going to switch Nagandel out into Indeedee here, I think. And then go for a max Airstream onto the Blastoise slot. If I just brought Indeedee out first outright, I could have just gone for, yeah, Helping Hand. I should have brought Indeedee out because Clefairy has a switch and makes so much sense. So, yeah, you could see how my opponent's team is entirely designed around activating this Blastoise, right? You have Focus Sash Volcarona, get that immediately off. Yeah, now they're going to max. It should be Rage Powder from Clef. Cannonade into... Oh, actually, yeah, I guess it's like, do you Hailstorm or Cannonade here? I wonder if we can survive a Hailstorm at +2, because we have a special defense boost with both of these Pokemon. I do have Tailwind. I'm giving a speed boost here. Does Indeedee outspeed Blastoise? We'll see from Hail damage if they go for Hailstorm. Yeah, so they just go for the safe Follow Me. Makes sense. Airstream's going to do a lot, but I think I had to conserve Nagandel here. Wow, that was a lot of damage. The problem is if I need to eject Blastoise out to win the game, I think. It's going to be hard to win if I actually just knocked out the Indeedee there. Or sorry, the Clef there. Yeah, they Hailstorm and Indeedee. Can we survive? Oh, not even close. Wow. Okay. So if we outspeed Blastoise here, we can just Expanding Force and force that thing out. So Zapdos takes tail damage. Yeah, perfect. Okay, perfect. Indeedee outspeeds here. So the main thing now to watch out for is that my opponent has RIllaboom in the back. So there's a possibility they switch the Clefairy out into RIllaboom. But what we can do in this position now is just click Expanding Force with Indeedee onto the Blastoise slot and click Brave Bird onto the Clefairy slot. If Clef switches out into RIllaboom, you change the terrain, but the single target Expanding Force is going into Blastoise anyway, and we KO RIllaboom. You know what their play is? It's to... Oh, okay. Their play was to max guard Blastoise there. I think you always have to max guard because now we just KO and force you out, right? If they had max guarded there, that actually might have been a really big issue for us. But yeah, we outspeed because we gave the Indeedee a speed boost. And we have Tailwind up. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. But I don't know. The thing is, like, my play didn't cover for max guard. So if they had max guarded there, it would really be dependent on what their last Pokemon is. Now, the upside is that Zapdos still outspeeds as well as Blastoise, so it's even if they max guarded. The fear is then they can bring in RIllaboom, change the terrain, and click Fake Out. And it was RIllaboom, so I'm, yeah, really surprised they didn't max guard there, but I think because they didn't, this gives us a huge advantage, especially with Nagandel still in the back. So, the thing is, like, my opponent spent a lot of effort to get the boost on Blastoise, and they didn't even Cannonade in the end, right? Partially because they couldn't really afford to. They're like, it was also interesting to see them Ice Beam the Whimsicott rather than like target the Zapdos. Like the Zapdos was the main threat here, and I actually never took any damage with it, which is pretty good for us, all things considered. So yeah, not bad. At this point, we've seen Shell Smash, Ice type attack, should be a Water type attack. So the question is, Fake Out. Either way, Nagandel should close out this endgame for us. I am just going to go for a... Well, actually, let's think this through. We never want to switch in Nagandel. They obviously have potential Fake Out, but we're faster with Indeedee. So, I'm down to just follow me here. Yeah, and Brave Bird into RIllaboom. Okay, so they do go for Fake Out. I guess they could Blizzard here. I went for Follow Me to prevent damage on a Zapdos, but if they have Blizzard, which is likely the case, this might be an issue. Oh, wow. Well, I still outspeed Blastoise, we're fine. Okay. wait, no, but Tailwind ends now. I should have clicked Expanding Force on the Blastoise, but we went for Airstream twice, correct? So I should still outspeed Blastoise even after Shell Smash. Yeah. Okay, I think we're still fine. I don't think Blastoise is going to have Protect, so I'm just going to follow me and Brave Bird here into it. But if it has Protect, this gets really dicey. But yeah. I mean, was it worth expanding Forcing there with Indeedee? I don't think so. They're going to Glide, that's fine. I don't think I ever want to switch out into Nagandel there. I mean, we should outspeed Blastoise, right? Yeah, like, we're at +2 speed. That's the other really nice thing about Galarian Zapdos, just being able to control the speed. But that was a nice Shell Smash. Honestly, like, and if we did not have that second Max Airstream boost, it would have outsped us. So, that was really scary. What could have been also scary is if they had Protect on Blastoise, you Glide to KO us, and then you crit Glide onto Zapdos. But I figured there was very, very low probability they'd actually have Protect, because then you're running both Shell Smash and Protect on Blastoise, and like, it only gives you 2 coverage moves. I guess you only need 2 coverage moves, to be honest, but yeah. Either way, we can just Sludge Bomb and Brave Bird now. Zapdos was incredible for us in this one, but this was really scary. Like, we needed to conserve Nagandel and bring in Indeedee. So, yeah, if there's one thing you can learn from both yesterday's like loss in Game 3 and today's matches, Indeedee is actually such a crucial member to this team. And like, if you're debating between that and Gardevoir, I think it's typically the better pick, because I didn't really fully understand that when I was playing yesterday. So shout out to Indeedee. It's really been putting in a lot of work, and having it as redirection support was super nice. And you saw how little it took from a +2 max Hailstorm. Granted, we had a special defense boost, but that's really nice. We did like 35-40%, right? Like, yeah. It's a big deal that the Blastoise just never committed a Cannonade, and I think my opponent also had a really good shot at potentially winning if they max guarded Blastoise, sacrificed the what was that on the field next to Blastoise that turn? Clefairy. If they max guarded Blastoise, sacrifice Clefairy, then bring out the RIllaboom, you change the terrain and you have Fake Out Pressure. And then I can't eject the Blastoise out, which is the main problem. So, yeah. And one thing that was really critical in this game was just noting Indeedee was faster than Blastoise. And just as a quick reminder, you can always see who's faster, because when there's like status condition, or sorry, when there's not status condition, when there's weather or like terrain, for example, it activates in order of fastest to slowest Pokemon, right? So we saw that Indeedee took hail damage before Blastoise, indicating we knew it was going to be faster than Blastoise. So that's why I could make that expanding force play to eject it out. So yeah, but that was a really, really fun one. So let's look for one more. All right, last game of the day. I started recording a little bit late, but I think this opponent was actually ranked 35, which is really cool because this is not a very standard team. It has Clefable as well as Thundurus-T and an Entei. So no Incineroar, no Landorus, so Zapdos is very sad camper here. Maybe Marowak needs to come out. I think Nagandel can snowball this. So I actually kind of like Indeedee Nagandel. Like, I can use Helping Hand support because I don't need Tailwind for Nagandel, right? The thing is, Whimsicott, you know, normally it's not going to be a great Pokemon to eject things out with if I'm setting up Psychic Terrain. But they're two, like, the scariest Pokemon on their team are Celesteela and Thundurus-T. And Whimsicott can actually switcheroo onto those, even if Psychic Terrain is up, because they're not grounded, so they're not affected by the Psychic Terrain. So it's actually maybe worth considering. Zapdos, Marowak. Yeah, I think Gardevoir is like just too specific of a Pokemon to bring out unless you're going against Hard Trick Room, and that was my mistake in Game 3 yesterday. Poor Pokemon choice. Do I really need Whimsicott? Being able to potentially eject is always just so valuable. And it's Marowak or Zapdos? I want to bring Marowak here. Zapdos is still a really strong brain, but I like Marowak because of its ability to just Flare Blitz into Celesteela. However, in going with this mode, it means I'm basically committing to Dynamaxing the Nagandel, which I'm fine with. We don't get to use it very frequently. That's the main star of this team, so I'm always down to feature it more. But as I've mentioned in a lot of the games we've played, I really like going with this like Nagandel plus Zapdos combo. They're going to go Entei plus Grimmsnarl. Light Screen plus Snarl coming out turn 1 is very likely. So, what I want to Dynamax? It also low-key could be offensive, like Entei. you max the you could Dynamax and max Quake if you have Bulldoze, but that would be wild. Anyway, the play I'm thinking of is just Dynamaxing, max Oozing, and Helping Hand. See, this is now where I wish I had Zapdos over Nagandel, Marowak, because if I did, I could Helping Hand Sludge Bomb turn 1 and not waste a max. Also, Grimmsnarl low-key could switch out into Celesteela. Oh man, that's actually a pretty big issue for us. I'm going for Helping Hand, but I actually think there's a really good chance they switch. Okay, they stay in, that's good. Still, this is pretty scary if it's just Light Screen into Snarl turn 1. And that's where Zapdos could have been really cool. If I was expecting Snarl turn 1 and I had Zapdos in the back, I could have switched the Marowak out into Zapdos. But the thing I was really nervous about is if I don't bring Marowak, I think my late game Celesteela answers are very, very sketchy. Okay, I'm gonna Helping Hand. There's Light Screen. I wonder, I don't think this KOs. It'd be nice if it did. Because the thing is, we can use Marowak offensively if we give it a speed boost. Okay, still gets the one-hit KO. I mean, if that's like one of the strongest max uses in the game, right? So it's not like crazy that it picks up the KO, but that's nice because I get 2 special attack boosts, and even if you Snarl, you bring me to +1, and I still have Helping Hand pressure. So that was solid. Okay. Yeah, and Snarl. It's fine. So Entei is not going to be the offensive threat. What is going to be the Dynamax option for my opponent? I think it's going to be Celesteela, which is why I wanted to bring the Whimsicott out so I could eject it, but I can't really get Whimsicott out safely right now. So we're at +1 special attack. They have Light Screen up. It's probably AV. They're bringing out Clefable. Okay. With Clefable, it's likely that you're going for a Protect here as you go for another Snarl with Entei, I would think. I don't want to... Man, I mean, they're playing the stalled out Dynamax, and here's the issue. If I pick up a KO, another KO, Eject Button is completely useless. But we do have Flare Blitz on this thing, and that's why I brought it for Celesteela. I think I'm content to just max Ooze here and Expanding Force. Because I think it's Sash Clefable is a possibility here. Ah, that's going into Celesteela. That's so smart. That's so smart. Oh. I mentioned that as an option on turn 1, but not this turn. Now, the one upside here is that I could eject Celesteela because they actually switched Clefable out. Oh. Well done. Really well done. Okay. So I'm back to neutral now. I would be really surprised if this were Policy Celesteela, so I'm going to Flare into it, and I'm going to go for Mystical Fire to decrease its special attack further. Because the thing is, Marowak is pretty good in the late game, but we already had an early lead in this game, and I needed, after turn 1, because of the lead that we had built up, what's my safest play there? It's probably to just go for Max Flare and Mystical Fire into the Clefable slot. If Clefable protects, well, they get a Snarl off, sure, but then the next turn it's a guaranteed KO onto that slot with another Flare and Mystical Fire, I think. Maybe it's not a guaranteed KO if it's like Max HP, Max Def. But great switch in. Yeah, that was one where I rushed a turn a little bit, didn't consider that as an option and get punished pretty heavily for it. So really good bait there. Now the upside is we can set up Tailwind, and then the Marowak can just Flare Blitz this thing, especially with the sun up. I don't even know if they pick up a KO here. It's a little bit risky to go for these super effective attacks because Celesteela obviously could be weakness policy, but it's so rare relative to AB Life Orb. That looks like AB to me, which I'm fine with. And the good thing is they didn't set up a Reflect, but the thing is they could just... Oh, if it's AV, actually that's a really big deal, because it means you can't stop the Flare Blitz. Unless you switch Entei out. I want Indeedee to feint so I can bring out Whimsicott so I can Tailwind. Okay, that's got to be a Sylvester, right? I mean, I know we've taken a lot of drops, but still. Airstream. Oh, they go for Quake. Okay. Doesn't pick up the KO. Oh, this is still so hard. All I needed to do was not mess up turn 2 after the lead I had built. So let this be a good lesson on how, like, when you have an early lead, you can fully capitalize off of it, but I didn't in this episode, or in this game. Lesson learned. You would obviously just Sacred Fire Indeedee now, max Airstream Nagandel. I don't know if Sacred Fire KOs Indeedee, but I would think so. And I'm just so weak with the Pokemon that I have in the back. I'm at -1 special attack. Oh, so Entei's probably not AV then, right? I don't even know if Celesteela is AV, but I'm like fairly confident. I'm going for Follow Me here, hoping I can survive Sacred Fire from Entei. It's not looking good. And we miss. They actually went for Snarl. Okay. That's actually very interesting, because that's another turn of Celesteela's max that's over. But I just don't have enough late game offense right now, it feels like. Yeah, they're going to Airstream. They're not going to KO. But now they can still pick up a double KO. Yeah. That was such a good bait on turn 2, so kudos. I just walked into it. What's my way of winning? It's their last turn of Dynamax. We have Flare Blitz. It's just, I think their Sash, like, I don't have enough late game damage here. I guess I could switch this out. Switch out into Marowak, Follow Me. I also could have just gone for another. I guess, like, the upside is Celesteela is not actually doing that much damage to us right now, right? I'm also wondering, like, do you not have Sacred Fire? It would have made more sense to Sacred Fire last turn. Will-O-Wisp. What physical option were they covering for on my end? I mean, I'll take that, honestly. I'm gonna go for a second max Airstream. The question I have now is how fast is your Celesteela? Because this Marowak is max speed, so I'm thinking next turn I just Tailwind Flare Blitz Celesteela. This is going to be a really close game one way or the other, but I'm just a little bit disappointed in myself because I feel like I made a really bad attack. Wow. Physical Celesteela? Physical AV Steela? Very interesting if so. Will-O-Wisp, Snarl, Entei, no Sacred Fire? I'm trying to understand the Will-O-Wisp there. Like, what physical option did I have that would cover for? Oh, I guess the Zapdos. Yeah, I never brought that up. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, the play I want to make here is just Tailwind and hope I outspeed this thing. I don't know if Poltergeist KOs, so I think I have to Flare Blitz, which sucks because it's so much recoil damage. But I think I make this play. And hopefully surprise them with the very fast Marowak. Okay. They're still fast. Okay, I mean, it's fine for Entei to be faster. Actually, not really. Oh, that's a lot of damage from Snarl. I can't beat this Entei now. Yeah, the problem here is I brought Pokemon that were just really frail, right? The play actually may have been to... Let's see. Yeah, we are faster. The thing is, I missed that Draco Meteor earlier, but I don't know how much damage it really... Like, whether or not that's actually a significant impact. So the question is, how much HP does my Marowak fall down to after Flare Blitz recoil? Is it enough where Snarl KOs us? Oh, okay, no, it's not. Maybe we're still okay then. This is such an intense game. So they bring Clefable back out. I'm expecting Clefable to protect here. Like, protect and use Snarl. So I want to Boomerang into the Entei here and then switch Nagandel into Whimsicott. Because we should take a Snarl from the Entei right now. I mean, the alternative was to just Sludge Bomb Clef, right? If Boomerang is a KO onto Entei, then the play was to just Sludge Bomb and Boomerang at the same time. I rushed this game a little bit. I shouldn't be making my move so fast. They didn't protect with Clef. Okay, we survive. They crit us, but we survive. Double crit us, but we survive. Oh, is Boomerang enough? That looks like it. It's buried! Oh! That is so unfortunate. They actually, oh, but they went for Moonlight. Dude, this game is wild. The thing is, if they were Focus Sash and they survived that, we lose the game. It's the last turn of Light Screen. We're at -1. I don't even know if Moonblast KOs. They're faster than Marowak. They keep clicking Snarl. I think you just follow me now, and we don't have Taunt with Whimsicott. Ugh. So, like, I can protect. Protect Moonblast, but I think my opponent wins now. Well, not necessarily. It depends on the item on Clef. They could also just follow me, target Whimsicott here. Oh, okay. I don't know if this KOs, though. It's Light Screen and we're at -1. Ah, that does nothing! It does nothing at all! No. Cosmic Power? Wow. I can't. It was Citrus Entei and Cosmic Power. I doubt they're sashed. Like, I feel like I could have just stayed in with Nagandel, honestly. But I think now my opponent wins off that. They could miss Snarl also. I don't want to miss, so I'm just gonna Flare Blitz and Moonblast, I think. But I don't even think Moonblast KOs here because we're at -2. Ah, it's close. Let's see. I think Entei survives this. Oh my goodness, this is painful. Okay. But we could still win if... I mean, another Moonblast will KO the Entei now. But I don't know if Whimsicott survives whatever they're going for. They go for another Cosmic Power. Yeah, I mean, you should survive Sludge Bomb now. And I have Helping Hand Sludge Bomb. What a crazy team. I also could have just Flare Blitzed the Clefable slot. This is where it also hurts, because if I hit that Draco Meteor earlier with Nagandel, this would have been a win. But this is a really cool team, so I can't even be mad. I really feel like they're Focus Sash. But if they're not, my best bet at winning here, this Entei doesn't... It feels like they don't have a Fire type attack, right? So, like, I'm going to faint, right? So I need to KO Clefable right now. So I'm just going to go all in. Helping Hand Sludge Bomb. Hope to KO. Hope that you don't KO Whimsicott. And then Moonblast KOs Entei. But what a wild game. Also, I mean, Cosmic Power I did not see coming. Oh, they were just... They had a speed boost on Entei. I needed a Tailwind there. But I needed a Tailwind and a crit on Clefable. Or a Snarl miss. Moonblast Cosmic Power. No, I had no way to win that though, right? Because even if I had Tailwinded, like... The Entei, I'm going to faint for my Life Orb anyway, and I don't beat the Clefable in this endgame. Like, Nagandel needed to be conserved to beat it. That was, wow, what a crazy game. Like, Entei was so low. If it fainted there, maybe we could have actually won. I didn't expect Cosmic Power at all from this Clefable set. Feels like I didn't really bring the best Pokemon. I missed the Draco Meteor, which was a really big deal in retrospect. But I also misplayed turn... Like, we had an early lead, and I really misplayed turn 2. By oozing into the Clefable. It was just such an obvious switch out. So if I had oozed the Entei in that position, this would have been a really, really different game. They had to fire. They had Sacred Fire this whole time. Wow. Wow. Well, you know what? That was a really, really fun game. And my opponent, I think, was like, what, top 30, top 40? So I can see how. And it was a really close game, right? Like, I think if we hit that Draco Meteor, we probably actually win the game in the long term. But granted, they might have changed their plays differently, right? And made different plays. But what a game 10 thing's on. It was like, you know, I thought I had it with the Boomerang. Was like, okay, we connect, and then they end up surviving. I'm curious on that Clefable item in the end as well, like, because I could have just stayed in with Nagandel and just clicked Sludge Bomb and Boomerang. But the thing is that we were on our last life with Nagandel and Clefable Protect, and I get hit by Snarl there. I kind of just lose, so I don't regret making that switch out. But man, the Entei hanging out with just that sliver of HP and Clefable actually being Cosmic Power, super, super wild. The Entei set in general was interesting as well. We saw Snarl, Sacred Fire, Will-O-Wisp. I don't think we ever saw the fourth. E-Speed maybe. Either way, what a set of games. So yeah, I mean, regardless, that was just really fun. I think there was definitely a lot I could have improved on in that game, especially during the mid game when we were up against that Celesteela. So I gotta spend some time thinking about it. I also just forgot about the Entei outspeeding us, but doesn't make a difference there because I think like. If we... Well, actually, no. There was a chance to win, which would be to click Tailwind and then crit Sludge Bomb into Clefable and hope that they're not Focus Sash. So, it was a very small chance to win, but still a chance to win nonetheless. Either way, though, that was one crazy game 10 things on, and I can't even be sad about that loss. And there was plenty that we could have done better, but it's been... I'm still just like processing all of it. But thanks so much, as always, for watching Road to Ranked. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like in the video. Huge shout out to the original creator of the team, and congrats to them once again for getting top 16 in the European Players Cup 4 regional qualifiers. Check their team report for this, as well as a paste and a rental down in the description below. Don't forget to answer the question of the day, and I'll catch you all next time. All right, peace.